I am highly passionate about sharing all things pregnancy and childbirth with you. And today I'm going to be talking about what to do if there's excessive bleeding after birth. And something I recently learned that really shocked me and really made me stop and think about how our medical system is and how much they're influenced by a set standard when all of us humans are so different, right? Like there is something different about all of us, right? And I was recently at a training where I was learning, gaining knowledge about pregnancy and childbirth and all the things that it contains. And there's a very vivid image of two different women in their birthing scene where they were both holding their babies, and they both had their babies in a birthing pool, but their their water was two completely different scenes, right? Like one was clean and clear and the other one was red, dark with blood, right? And but you could see in both pictures the women were fine. They weren't pale. They, like the one who had the really bloody water, she wasn't pale. She was holding her child. She was bonding. She was coherent. Like she was present in the moment. She wasn't um losing focus. She wasn't detached from the scene. Her eyes weren't rolling back in her head. Like she wasn't dizzy and like on the verge of passing out. She was fine, holding her baby and just living in that moment of having just had her baby. And what I found so fascinating is that who wouldn't be a little bit nervous being in that space, right? Who wouldn't be concerned seeing the water like that? I myself, without the learning and the knowledge that I've gained, would be concerned. But when we know how to read the scene and read the person that is giving birth, we are much better able to assess and determine what the next move is. And so all this is to say that some women bleed more than others. We're all different. Some of us are bleeders, some of us are not. And so if you have heavy bleeding after having a baby, in a hospital, a lot of times it's looked at as hemorrhaging. However, in a situation where a person births with somebody who is completely trusting of the physiological process of childbirth, they sit back and they watch and they check, like they see things that we wouldn't normally see because there's usually such a panic surrounding it. And so in a hospital, just to give you context, they're told this much blood is what's allowed. Anything beyond this is hemorrhage. So they pretty much treat everybody like everybody's supposed to bleed the same amount. But we all know that that's not the case, right? Like we're all different. And like in the case of what I visually saw with my eyes, these two different pictures, both women were fine. The one wasn't considered a hemorrhage because she had lost more blood because she was fine physically. And so that's one thing, like we have to be able to like assess our situation. Like, are we bleeding more than what is necessary, more than what is expected to happen? Okay, are we concerned? Then there are things we can do. And here are a few things that you can do if this is your situation. So, and even in the hospital, you can holler, give me this, give me that. Like you can ask for these things and do them on your own to help stop what they're calling hemorrhaging or stop the bleeding faster. So if the placenta is still inside, you can just take the umbilical cord and bite it. I know it doesn't sound lovely. However, if you bite your umbilical cord, it sends a signal inside your body that, oh, the baby's already out. We don't need to do this anymore. And so it'll stop. And then the other thing is if the placenta has been born already, has come out already, then you can take a piece off like a small piece off of the maternal side of the placenta and stick it inside your cheek. And again, what this will do is it'll signal your body that it doesn't need to bleed anymore and it'll stop. Your body is so stinking amazing, and scientifically, like, our bodies are works of art, right? Like, who knew we could do these things and it would help hemorrhaging? You can also latch your baby. If your baby is showing signs of wanting to latch, then latch your baby. That will also stop stop bleeding. It can stop bleeding as well. So you have three options. You can bite your umbilical cord, you can nurse your baby, or you can take a piece of the placenta and stick it inside your cheek. So I found this information highly interesting, and I love the fact that I get to share it with you because I know that I've been researching and like learning for almost 8 years, and this was new to me just last month. So I love being able to share it with you and enlighten and broaden your knowledge base so that you can make decisions and decide how you will proceed in a moment when it is necessary. So if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please subscribe and like this channel, share it with your friends who would be interested, or be like, wow, that's so cool. Share it with them because this is some interesting stuff. If you're watching this in my group, thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate you so much. If you're not already in my group, you can find me at Open Minded and Empowered Birthing Mamas on Facebook, and I would love to have you in there. And in a couple weeks, I'm going to be launching a mindset reset around pregnancy and childbirth. So if you have ever had someone speak negatively to you through pregnancy or childbirth, or maybe you've had a past experience that wasn't what you thought it would be, and you'd like to work through some of that mindset stuff that it left behind, or maybe you've had friends who have had just traumatic experiences and you are now living in a place of fear and uncertainty when it comes to pregnancy and childbirth, come on into my group. We're going to work that out because your mindset is your strongest feature, and you have the control to take back your mindset and tell your mind what you think. And we can change those places of fear into places of confidence when we create knowledge in its place. So if you're interested in that, jump on into my group. We're going to start doing that in a couple weeks, and I will